On today's primetime local news, the city of Lloydminster is purchasing a new truck for local snow removal.
We literally hand down equipment from one department to another.
And with the construction at Holy Rosary High School, young students have questions on the process.
This is a great thing that I can hopefully support teachers with.
Plus, changes coming to Saskatchewan's Agri-Stability Program.
Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Taking a look at local news now, the city is upgrading a piece of equipment used to clear snow off city streets. City Council approved the purchase of a tandem truck at a cost of just over $270,000. The city currently has 4 underbody plow units and 1 is due to be replaced. While the primary use of the truck will be to clear snow off priority routes, it will be used by the city year-round. That truck is being replaced will be handed down and used at the landfill.
Roads is the primary use of the snowplow trucks. In this case, the truck that comes out of service on the roads team will go to the landfill to replace a 1980 or early 90s truck.
Due to global supply issues, the new unit is not expected to be delivered until late 2023. The mayor says city equipment often goes on to have a second life. A new loader was also purchased for the landfill, and the existing loader will now be used at the operations center.
The city redeploys assets as best as they can, and you'll find that with new pickup trucks and trucks that are bought. They're sent to various departments that have less use but still require a pickup truck.
Currently, Holy Rosary High School is undergoing some renovations for their expansion. And in this week's Beyond the Classroom, we take a look at a curious class who are wondering just what is going on.
This grade 3 class at École Saint-Thomas have front row seats to the construction next door. As they've watched the foundation go up, they've had some questions, so the Director of Education paid them a visit.
Anytime we give students the opportunity to learn in practical ways and to really attach learning to the world around them, it's exciting for them. And when they see a beautiful school that they're going to be a part of in a few years, I think they are naturally curious, and I really thought their questions were great.
Since the expansion will be complete by the time kids in the division reach Holy Rosary High School, McCarthy has been visiting classes around Lloydminster, informing the students.
And anytime we can connect what we're doing as a whole school division to the experience of an individual child in the classroom and excite them, that's a win for all of us.
Grade 3 teacher Annick LeBlanc said the kids have been super excited watching the work through the window, and it overlaps well with what they're learning in class.
It actually aligns really well with our curriculum. We've been doing like construction, materials, and building and all of that, so they're loving it. I've just kind of incorporated it because why not? We have this special opportunity, so why not do it?
And that's it for this week's Beyond the Classroom.
At Lakeland College, our students are challenged to go beyond the classroom, so when industry knocks, they're ready to thrive. Learn more at lakelandcollege.ca.
And now our Shelby Clark will take a look at your Wednesday weather.
Thanks so much, Jasmine. Now taking a first look at your weather forecast. Here in the midweek here, we are seeing a beautiful, warm day. It is 21 right now in the border city, and there's kind of a mix of some sun and cloud, but we did see a lot throughout the day, so it wasn't too cloudy whatsoever. And we actually are seeing still a beautiful day here, and it is feeling a lot more warmer compared to yesterday. So hopefully that will continue on throughout the week. Now switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, we are seeing a lot more double digits here. We are seeing quite a bit of warmer temperatures on the Alberta side. It is 21 and 22 in most spots on the map here. It is 20 in Vegreville, while it's 19 in both St. Paul and Bonnyville, 18 over in Edmonton, and Cold Lake and Lac Vista at 16, 17 degrees. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side here, we are seeing quite a bit of warmer temperatures as well compared to the Alberta side, except for up in Isle Across, they are slightly cooler, just seeing 8 degrees. It is 15 in both Meadow Lake and Green Lake, while while Pierceland and St. Walburg are 18, 19, and the rest are just hitting that 22-degree mark. And for North Battleford, in that 22 range, they will be cooling down to a low of 4 degrees. They will be seeing quite a nice evening low for sure. Then tomorrow, they'll almost even be reaching 30. So at 28 tomorrow, they'll be seeing a mix of sun and cloud, and they will be seeing a much warmer day than what they've been seeing today, surprisingly. Cold Lake will be cooling down to 3 from that 17 mark, so cooling down quite a bit, but still seeing those plus temperatures. Then tomorrow they will be warming up to 21, seeing a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds. So we all are kind of reaching that 20 range as we go out throughout the week here. And for us in the border city, we'll be cooling down to that 4-degree mark for our evening low. So seeing a nice warm evening for sure tonight. Then tomorrow we'll be warming up to 24. So we will be seeing an even warmer day. So get ready because we're feeling these summer temperatures coming up here. Now I just want to add in again about our Mother's Day contest. Make sure to go to our Facebook page and check out our Mother's Day contest. It's in our pinned post. You can comment a photo of your beautiful mother and mention her name in the comment as well as why she deserves this gift card. You can win her a $500 gift card to Sleep Country. And get ready, we will be choosing the 3rd winner at the end of the hour. That's all I got for now. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. The Agri-Stability Program, which is run by the federal and provincial governments throughout Canada, has had its application deadline extended. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
Today we have the Honourable David Merritt, the Minister of Agriculture for the Government of Saskatchewan, here today to talk to us about the extending of the Agri-Stability Program. So thank you so much for being with us today, David.
Thank you so much for having me on.
And so, David, tell us about the Agri-Stability Program and what it gives to farmers and why the application process has been extended this year.
Well, we're extending it obviously because some of the provinces across the country, obviously because of avian influenza, with the bird disease, what's happening in the bird population in a lot of jurisdictions. Even here in Saskatchewan, we're seeing it. So it just gives an opportunity for those that are in the business of raising birds, whether it's turkeys or chickens or even ducks in some cases. So it just gives them an opportunity if they weren't in ag stability. And ag stability really is an insurance program that helps mitigate a lot of the risk if you have obviously a major shortfall in revenue. It just gives them an opportunity to access that program, lever some dollars to help them make them through the year. So it's a program that's funded both by the federal and provincial governments, cost shared.
And so, David, you mentioned that avian influenza is one of the reasons that the program was extended this year, but other producers who may have other problems this year, including moisture in deep southern Saskatchewan, will they be able to apply for this program again?
That's exactly right. It allows everybody the opportunity to come into it. In fact, we had a call here into our office yesterday where one of my staff reached out to them and told them about the program, and he thought the deadline was passed, and the deadline was April 30th, and my officials just let them know that it had been extended to June 30th, and he was quite happy about that, and he's going to have a serious look at it. So it does give farmers and ranchers an opportunity now till June 30th, because a lot can happen between now and June 30th. I mean, that's 2 months away, so we could see, and let's pray to God we don't see another drought and we see some moisture, coming back and things like that. So it just gives producers a chance to look at their operation and see if they want to go into the program and help mitigate some of that risk.
And so the new date now is June 30th. Are you guys possibly thinking about making that the permanent new date, or are you guys going to keep it at the April 30th date that it was previously?
Well, right now it's April 30th, but it's something we can look at. It's something that my colleagues will probably have that discussion in July when all the ag ministers across the country and the federal minister meet in Saskatoon. And I'm sure that'll be part of the discussion. Is do we extend it, or do we, maybe we extend it to May 30th or something like that? Who knows? But that's a discussion we'll have and just see where it goes from there.
With this extension, are there any other reasons that farmers, ranchers, producers should apply for the Agri-Stability Program?
I think really on the Ag Stability one, I would just like to say, a lot of farmers are in the program, but I'd have everybody should have a look at it and just see if it fits for them. And with the removal of the reference margin limit was a big thing that we heard from stakeholders across this province. They wanted to see that gone. So I would just encourage farmers to, have a look at it. With that being gone now, it does change a lot of things. An example being in 2020, because of the reference margin limit, we paid out, I think it was just over another $12 million to producers. So it did make a significant change. So I would just encourage farmers to, check it out and just see if it's worthwhile to enter into the program.
Thank you so much for being with us today, David, and have yourself a great day.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Anytime. Thank you.
And now for another look at tonight's weather forecast, we go to Shelby Clark.
Thanks so much again, Jasmine King. Now taking another look at your weather forecast. We are going to be starting off with the central zone of our provinces to see what we are sitting at temperature-wise. And on the Alberta side, we are still seeing some nice warm temperatures, even close to that 20 mark in most spots on the map. Red Deer has even reached the 20 mark there. 16 in most spots here, while the 17 in both Edmonton and Cold Lake. 15 over in Whitecourt, while Rocky Mountain House is at 19, and Jasper is just slightly cooler than the rest, but still seeing double digits at 13 degrees. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are not struggling too much whatsoever. Even slightly warmer than the Alberta side. 14 in Melfort, well as 15-16, Meadow Lake in Prince Albert, and it is past those 20s with North Battleford 20 with us in the border city at 21 and 23 in Saskatoon. Now switching over to hopefully our northern region here. Oh, there we go. Now we switched over to our northern region. They are still seeing definitely some slightly cooler temperatures at those single-digit points. 1 in both Wollaston Lake and Flin Flon. We warm up slightly more from there as we go more on throughout the map, but we are still seeing some cooler temperatures compared to our central zone. 3 in both South End and Stony Rapids, as well as 4 in La Ronge and up in Uranium City. And La Loche and Buffalo Narrows are both sitting at 6. And going over to the Alberta side here, they definitely are seeing some warmer temperatures compared to the Saskatchewan side. 17 up in High Level, while it is 14 in both Peace River and Fort Chipewyan. 13 in Fort McMurray, and Grand Prairie is just hitting 15. And Slave Lake is the coolest out of all of them at 9 degrees, but still looking quite warm on this side compared to the Saskatchewan side. Now, over in our southern region here, they are definitely looking a lot warmer past those 20 marks that we kind of would have expect. Banff and Lethbridge are slightly cooler compared, seeing 13, 18, but still seeing those double digits. We're perfect in time for spring and summer moving up in here. 20 in Calgary, while it is 22, 23 in Coronation and Medicine Hat. And going over on this end here now, they are seeing, most spots are seeing 23 degrees, so they are looking a lot warmer over on this end here, and Estevan is just hitting 20. Now going back across the region and seeing what we will expect throughout our evening, we are going to be pretty happy temperature-wise as we are seeing warmer evening lows for sure. Most spots will be seeing a low of 2 and 3 degrees as we can see, and then Unity, Wainwright, and Provost will be seeing a low of 4. So we all will be past that minus point. We will be seeing those plus temperatures, and although it may seem still slightly cooler, we are seeing some beautiful evening lows coming up here. So I would say, take advantage. Hopefully they start opening up patios soon here because this is kind of like our summer coming up close. And now looking at our 3-day forecast for here in the border city, we will be seeing 24 tomorrow, so seeing even a warmer day than today, so get ready because we will be having few warm days coming up. Friday we'll have a warm day at 20 to start off the weekend, but seeing a high chance of some rain coming up, so that will help cool things down just slightly. And then that will continue on into Saturday, where we will cool down to 11 degrees with a mix of some sun and cloud on the weekend. Now, giving another look at our Mother's Day contest, make sure to go to our Facebook page and comment a photo of your mother, mention what her name is and why she deserves a $500 gift card to Sleep Country, and stay tuned till the end of the hour because we will be picking our 3rd winner of the week. That's all I got for now. Our Jasmine King will have more news coming up after the break.
Stephanie Dobson is back with us this week. Stephanie is a lawyer and mediator at Hanka Divorce Law and Mediation here in Lloydminster. Back for another episode of Healthy Thriving Family After Divorce. So Stephanie, this week we're talking about the first steps when somebody decides or a couple is going to decide they're going to separate, how everything starts. So let's talk exactly about that. Once you have made the decision to separate, what is the first thing to do?
I thought this was an interesting topic this week because, we go into so many different components of family law, and I thought, sometimes that starting point can be, sometimes the most difficult and sometimes the scariest time. So, I acknowledge that people's worlds is changing. There's probably a lot of conflict erupting at home. So I thought that, it's really important to remember that the first step in the separation process can sometimes happen even before that decision to separate has been made. So I thought of a few examples here that as to how people can prepare. So first, it's really important to do some research. So of course, we all know how to do a Google search. So it's very different if you Google something like respectful divorce, positive divorce, or if you search for something like how to keep everything in a divorce or something like that. So, really important to narrow your search. Make sure that when you put in something into Google, put in your province of residence, because as we've talked about lots before, there's differences amongst the provinces. Second, books are a really great way to dig deeper into a subject. So of course, there's thousands of books. So doing specific searches for the types of books that you might be interested in would be really handy. In my e-learning platform, Up a Notch Learning, that we've talked about lots, I've got over 80 book recommendations, which are all nicely organized, divided into categories. And I can tell you, I vouch for every single one of the books. I've read every one of them. Third, find some supportive people. I call this a spectator gallery. So this is where we divide people in our lives into supportive versus toxic people. It's really important that when you're trying to create a group of people around you during your separation is to find those supportive people and use those people to confide in. And lastly is to meet with a divorce professional. So of course, it's really important to get the right information about how things work, what you're allowed to do, not allowed to do, and all of that sort of things, just to get a lay of the land and get you put into the right direction.
So Stephanie, when somebody takes the step of contacting a lawyer in this process, what can they then expect?
We hear all the time that people, when they contact our office, they say, we've never talked to a lawyer before other than when we bought a house. So I understand that this can be very daunting. So here's a few things that you may want to consider when you're making that initial contact. So there's a few different ways that you can contact a law office. Of course, there's the easy thing about making a phone call. There's also looking on the firm website. And on that website, you can get the lawyer's contact information usually, or the office general contact, the email, a contact form, or even some websites have a live chat agent. I always recommend that people contact us through our website because we have a very specific way, as a lot of our viewers know, of how we handle separation and divorce, and it allows people to get a feel for who we are, how we do things. So that contact form, that live chat agent are always the best way to get in touch with us. So when you call into a law office, there's usually a particular person who deals with new client intakes. So make sure you're talking to the right person first. Then you're going to go through a series of questions. So before you just launch into your story, we're going to need to know things like your full name, the other party's full name, a very brief explanation of what's going on for you. And then in our case, we always set up a 5-minute free call with you to make sure, to make sure that we're barking up the right tree, that I'm the right person. And then, of course, next, initial consultation. That's always the next step.
When you get to the step where you're going with the consultation, Stephanie, what happens during that consultation?
Well, of course, I can only describe what happens at our office. Every office is slightly different, but usually it will start with that initial consultation. So I'll just describe for you very briefly how we do things. So before you step foot into our office, we're going to need 3 things from you. First of all, a questionnaire, a valid photo ID, and then sometimes there's some documentation that we need. But for the initial consultation purposes, there's usually very little documentation, maybe a draft separation agreement or some court documents if they've been prepared ahead of time. Then once you get here, I've broken down the consultation into 4 parts. So first, we're going to go through your story. Then we're going to talk about process. Now, for our purposes, most people have decided on process, legal services versus mediation services by the time they get to our office, but we'll make sure that you understand what that all means at the consultation. Next, we're going to make sure that we answer any of your questions. Some people come with their laundry list of questions, and others, questions will come up along the way. And then, of course, before we wrap up, we always talk about next steps to make sure we have that action plan for you.
All right, Stephanie. Well, thank you so much for joining us again this week, and we'll be back to chat with you next week.
Yeah, thanks, Stacey.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
We are joined here today for Primetime Local News with rising country star Sasha. Thank you so much for taking the time to be able to speak with us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, we're glad to be able to have you on here. Now, we are speaking on this new release we're reading about called Pretty Please, your new single, and you just released a music video on this. So I kind of wanted to speak about this and say, what was all involved in this Pretty Please music video on your We Did EP?
So Pretty Please, I'm so excited about this song because it's kind of an eye-opener and a page-turner in terms of vulnerability and sharing a little bit more of my story that I feel and I hope resonates with so many people out there when it comes to, attaining to a standard of beauty, or what pressures and social pressures one would have in, high school or growing up or even in adulthood that may impact the way that they see themselves and their value.
And did you have some certain inspiration to come out with this song? What really inspired this for you to write it?
The inspiration is just having people come to a place where they can find confidence within themselves. I myself, I'm still on that journey. I admit I have not arrived, but I think it's just so important through music to be able to have that story. And I'm so excited and thrilled to share that through country music and my story. I think it's just important to have that self-esteem message out there, and I'm hoping that it resonates with a lot of people.
And now with having a music video on this, how was the experience with making this video for the song?
The music video was like the maybe pinnacle of my career as yet for a release, because we had the premiere on CMT Billboard in Times Square.
Wow.
And it was a moment that I was like, I can't believe this. Last time I was in New York was in 2011 going into 2012. Just, putting myself out there, trying to dream big. And if you would have told me I was going to be on the Billboard the next time I visited New York, I don't know if I would have believed you. So it was really a special moment. And I'm so excited to be able to share that moment with everybody. The music video, I'm so happy about, because it's kind of got a mix of contemporary dance with the message and taking you back to the varsity days and all those intimate details from the set to the story. If you haven't seen it, or if you have, it was just, even for myself, it was a vision that I couldn't even have thought to bring to life as much as the directors did, but it was totally in line with who I am.
Definitely sounds like it was a fun experience making it. What other songs will be involved in your We Did EP?
Okay, so the single We Did is at radio right now and it's going up the charts. I'm so excited about this song and people getting to hear it and get to know who I am, because radio is just so powerful and it's a way to get familiarized with an artist. So I'm so excited to be able to connect with people in that way. I'm so happy to Country Radio for playing the song, and I'm getting a lot of feedback and I'm meeting new people even through social media. So it's been quite a wild ride already. And then there's If I Wanted Wine. You have to check out that song, If I Wanted Wine. It's kind of like a sorry, not so sorry tune where, you just don't have time to have a pity party, but in a really fiery, electric way. And I'm really excited to share that one live on stage this summer.
From what it already sounds like, you've had such a crazy journey with this being in the country music industry. How has that experience been with being a rising country star and seeing that strong reaction now and seeing some good support from people in the community?
It's been, to be honest, validating. You've worked so hard for so long, and I've been a rising star. It feels like forever. I've been around forever, but it's just really nice and to know that there's a community that supports you. And to see your hard work pay off after all these years, and just put another check mark off of your dream journal of all the things that you would only hope to see happen in your music career.
Well, that's really good to hear. And I was also reading a little bit about in the release, you also performed with James Barker Band. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, James Barker Band. We just did a show for Amazon and Twitch last week, which is cool. And the Wreck Laws, What the Truck with the Wreck Laws was the viral streaming song of the summer last year that really kind of gave me a boost on the scene with the awesome Wreck Law duo. I love them so much. They've been so supportive. And I was so thrilled to be a part of that song with them. There's a little gold plaque. Just a little gold plaque here. For,
no big deal.
No big deal. The fastest Canadian streaming song in Canadian history. So it's just like, my mind is being blown month by month. And I'm just so thankful for the team that I have that supports me.
What it sounds like with your journey so far, it sounds amazing and definitely motivating for others out there that are on that same experience as you, and motivating for you since you are seeing that strong reaction and strong response from fans and listeners out there. Is there anything else that's coming up for you that you want to let people know about?
I'm so excited about the Maddie and Tay tour that has finally been announced. We were supposed to go on tour earlier this year, but we had a little bit of a postponement, which I think worked out to be for the better. So September and October, we hit the road in the US with Maddie and Tay, and special guests also myself and Abby Cohn.
Perfect, Sasha. Well, it was really great meeting with you and being able to speak with you on a little bit of insight of what it's like to be a rising country star right now in the industry. So really appreciate it. Glad to see that you are succeeding and you keep up that hustle and that grind. And thank you so much again for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Shelby.
Ending off with taking a quick look at your 7-day forecast. We'll be seeing those 20 degrees coming up here Thursday and Friday, so get ready because we are seeing these summer temperatures slowly moving in. 20 on Friday, seeing a high chance of some precipitation to start off that weekend, which will continue into Saturday. We'll see a mix of some sun and cloud for the weekend and then cool down a little bit starting off next week, but we will get some nice rain, which will help because we will be warming up right after that. And now, choosing on to our third winner of the week for our Mother's Day contest. Here we go. Congratulations to Ashley. Thank you for submitting this, and congratulations to your mother for this. We will be in contact with you shortly.
Thank you, Shelby, and thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News. And you can catch even more news in the second hour.